All right, so if you guys haven't met me before, I'm Kelley. I'm the plant-based kitchenista. So we do these classes every 2 weeks, unless something happens, like I'm traveling or something, because I do have a full-time position. So I am a director of IT training at UC Health, which is a really large healthcare system here in Colorado. So I have my, very formal job, trying to have fun with that, but then I have, this is my fun. This is my passion where I really love to do these type of things. So we are going to be making, so I did this right before 4th of July, because I figured this is a great place to have a 4th of July recipes for you. So we're gonna do yummy black bean burgers with a special sauce, which is really good. And then it actually will show you on the next one, which is a plant-based Texas potato salad. So if you ever had the potato salads in the past that mom used to make at all the picnics and everything, this one's a really good one. And we're gonna show you how to make the mayo. And the other thing about the potato salad, think about too, you've got this yummy special sauce that we're going to be doing with the burgers. You could also use, if you made enough of that sauce, you could make it in the potato salad, and that would be another different type of flavor with potato salad too. So kind of 2 different ways you could do that. And then we're going to be making barbecue beans. Because you can buy them in a can. They're good. They got the vegetarian style. You got one dog that decides to bark at, I don't know, she's not barking at anything. But you have the barbecue baked beans, and you can get, like I said, in the cans. They're not as good as the homemade, and these homemade ones are so easy to make, and you can actually make them quite a bit. So we'll get started on those here in a second, but I'll go ahead and let Jerry introduce himself really quick. I'm gonna tap the floor. Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jerry Casados. For those who don't know me, I'm a plant-based nutritionist. We've been plant-based now 14 years. I did for health reasons, 3 blood pressure meds, cholesterol med, all that stuff. 35 pounds heavier, so it changed my life. Dr. Dougal, I went and saw him, got this 10-day program, and the rest is history, and I'm all better. So, but I do have a private nutrition practice where I do nutrition consultations, meal planning, help you transition to a plant-based diet, just whatever diet analysis. I do all those kind of things. But I do have an announcement. I have a new website coming up. Just redid it, redesigned. It should be coming up maybe tomorrow or Monday. But it's easier feel, look, services, a lot of articles, a lot of good recipes and stuff. So it's coming up here in the next day or two. I'm excited about that. But also going to have some courses in the future, working on curriculum, some mini courses to help out everybody with education. So, but that's what's going on. But just email me at jcasados@msn.com. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer any about nutrition. So with that, I'm just going to watch and have a burger later. Thank you.
Yes, he is definitely he's the lucky one. A lot of people always say it must be nice and stuff to be in the same house, because then he can, gets to try all the food and get to have the leftovers and all those kind of good things. So we are going to, so I'm going to start a couple of different things. I'm actually going to do a little bit of getting the beans ready, because I want to get everything kind of stirred. And the longer you simmer the beans, the better they are. So if you start, like if you do them the day before and then heat them up and you let them soak, kind of like chili. Like chili is always better the second day, I think. That it's really good to be able to do that. So I'm going to get this started. So this is just an induction burner. These are really nice when you're getting ready to start cooking. You don't want to heat up your whole house. Plus it allows me to face this way, which is really nice. So let me grab my onions, my garlic. So this is like Emerald of the old days, or anybody, Bobby Clay, they're all cut up. So we're going to put in onions, and don't worry about the onions. You can do, white onions, yellow onions, red onions, whatever you've got. If you've got scallions and you don't have the onions, then you can use that too. It's just you want that onion flavor, because always baked beans are good with onions. So that's just the garlic. So just regular old minced up garlic. That's started. And then a little bit of vegetable broth. So we don't cook with oil. So we're always doing vegetable broth, vegetable stock, or I always say white wine. And I talk about the white wine. The only time I English use that is when we do something like tomato sauces. So if I'm doing something like a tomato sauce with spinach and things like that on gnocchi, that's when I'll use like the white wine. Just kind of give a little bit of that acid, which is really good. But otherwise, if you get ready, if you're going to use white wine for any sauteing, use the regular old like Franzia in a box. That is like the cheap wine, and it's the box wine. That's what you need. You don't need the expensive stuff unless you open it because you're enjoying a little bit, and then you put a little bit into your sauce. That's okay too. When we used to cook with Chef Antonio. So when we were doing all the cook with me classes and stuff, we invite Chef Antonio and we start our classes at 10 a.m. He'd be like, a little wine for the sauce, a little wine for me. By the end of the class, we were good. So it was always fun. All right, so I'm gonna let that simmer because your onions and your garlic, you wanna make sure your garlic and your onions are mixed well together, but then your onions are getting soft. So you don't wanna have those hard chewy onions in your barbecue beans. So that'll be good. So the yummy black bean burgers, so of course, black beans. So I have regular black beans. These are no salt or low salt, no salt.
No
No salt. These are the Cooners, no salt. And then we just rinsed them and got them all, regular, all set up. So I'm going to put those in a food processor because you want to grind them up. If you don't have a food processor, then potato masher. So I actually, because not everybody has food processor, so let's just do this. Let's just do it by hand. It's fun. These are nice. This is a little OXO type of potato masher, so it works really well. Just get in there, grind them up. Because what I do is like the food processor sometimes, well, it does a really good job of mixing up the beans and chopping them up. But it's kind of nice too when you're doing a bean burger to have a little bit of the full bean. So if you don't get them all crunched down and mushed up and stuff, not a bad thing to have a bean that hangs out by itself. So just do that. So that's what it looks like. So just regular smashed up beans, black beans, like you're getting them ready for like tostados or anything like that. Throw that out of the way. Onions smell good. All right, so got the black beans. And then if you're following along with the recipes, if you got them. So we've got the oven that's all ready to go. We've got the black beans, and I always have to make sure I follow the recipes because sometimes I will get ahead of myself. So if you catch me, if I miss something, holler out. So zucchini. So zucchini is very plentiful right now. You can pretty much, the nice thing about it is you can get it year round. All I did was just take one of the little hand graters that you can have, like this one, like that, and just grated it up. Sometimes your zucchinis will be very watery. So if they are like really watery, just make sure you put, you just kind of just, pick it up and just drain out the water as much as you can. This one, you can tell I grated it up. There's like no water to it at all. It's still really fresh and stuff, but it wasn't a watery zucchini, which is great because you don't want a lot of the moisture in the bean, in the black bean burgers. Okay, so got that. Get all the zucchini in there. If you can't find zucchini, you could actually do some different like substitutions. Would be eggplant, which would be fun. So you could grate up eggplant, which holds up really well. Or you could do like the yellow squash. So a couple of different things that you could add in there. Or if you wanted to, and make it even more vegetable, you could add in some of the like the eggplant, a little bit of yellow squash, a little bit of green zucchini. There's all kinds of things you could do with that, which is really nice. All right, so you got the zucchini in there. Like I said, we make sure there's not any water. And then we're going to add the remaining ingredients. Okay, so we have pecans, toasted pecans, gives it a nice crunch. Then we have, so we'll just go through the list. We've got we've got flax meal. So it's just basically flax seeds that are ground up, which is really nice. So flax seeds, once it gets into the moisture, will start giving you that binding ingredient. So it's almost like having a cornstarch without having cornstarch. I'm sure most of you guys make like flax eggs, with the water or those type of things. So those are flax seeds are really nice to do that. And it also makes, if you want my recipe, I have people that call it a crack dressing, but it's a balsamic dressing that has flax seeds in it. And it's just really good. I'll make it up into those squeeze bottles like this. And I'll usually make like triple, quadruple the recipe. And I'll make 2 of these and then I'll just put the plastic wrap. And then we eat it on everything. We go through this and it's really nice. As you can see, it's really thick because of the flax meal, which is in there. So, and it's really, really good. So if you want that recipe, email me at Kelley@plantbasedkitchen.com and I'll send it over to you. It's one of the best recipes. It's actually why it's called crack. Is a friend of ours and stuff actually used to do blue cheese dressing. Tried this dressing and said, this is like, it's like being on crack. It said it was so good that she gave up blue cheese dressing, which Yay, which is really good. So that's why we call it kind of the balsamic crack dressing. All right. Okay, so we've got everything in there. So we've got the flax meal. So now we've got tamari. If you don't like tamari, you can use coconut aminos if you want to do that. All right, and then, so just follow along, you got tomato paste. Tomato paste, if you don't use all the tomato paste, put it in a little freezer bag, right on the freezer bag that is tomato paste, and then freeze it, which is a really nice thing you can do with tomato paste. It holds up really well. All right, so far we've got some of the ingredients in there. And then we've got, so liquid smoke was in the tamari. So liquid smoke is just like the rib. I'm sure most of you guys have probably seen it. You can buy it in all the regular stores. It's usually where the ketchup and everything else is. And it just, all it is just liquid smoke. So it just gives a nice little smoky flavor to your burgers, which is really good, especially 4th of July. Right? Put that there. Looks like, just make sure we're doing good with that. All right, and then we've got, so we got liquid smoke, then we've got miso. So miso paste, you could use the dark miso paste or the light miso paste, whatever you'd like to do, whatever's your favorite. I usually have the light. I tend to use the light in most everything, but I've used some of the dark ones, but the light ones is usually what most recipes call for. So it's just kind of a nice, kind of almost like a light coffee type of look and feel. And then with miso, as long as you keep, when you open up the miso containers, keep the little kind of like the paper wrapping that's on the top. If you keep that and push that down and then just put the lid back on your miso, it'll keep for 6-8 months. But you just want to make sure you keep that little paper round and stuff that's in there pushed down on top of the miso, so it keeps it fresh. All right, so get that in there. Then we have all the different seasonings. So in here, I've got onion powder, garlic powder, dried minced onion flakes. So if you didn't want to do the onion flakes or you don't have onion flakes, just do like, regular onions, like either scallions or green onions or, white onions, whatever you want to do. So I had the minced onion flakes, so I just put those in there. And then we've got red pepper flakes. That's completely up to you. So if you want it a little bit spicy, not a little spicy at all, you can leave those out. And then there's ground mustard, coriander, and smoked paprika. So if you don't have the smoked paprika because you have the liquid smoke, feel free to use just regular paprika. That's fine with that. And then I didn't add any salt and pepper. Jerry is definitely doesn't do the salt and pepper. So, and I try to stay on the low side. He does the pepper and stuff, but yeah, so I'm not doing the salt and pepper. So I'm just going to add all the spices in. So everything gets in there. All right, and then last but not least, panko breadcrumbs. So, you can use, like there's wheat breadcrumbs, there's panko, there's gluten-free panko, all those type of things. But panko is really good, and I use it for like my meatloaves or anything like that you want a little bit of a bite to it. That's that. It's in there. Put this all over here, and then we're going to mix. I'm going to bring over a couple other things. So right before I mix it, the barbecue beans, if you're following along, we're going to add green peppers. So those are just nice little, just little tiny small dice. Those in there. And a little bit of jalapeno. So I took the seeds out and of course just did a little chop, but if you don't want the heat in it, but that's really good in these barbecue baked beans. But if you don't like the heat, keep them out. You want the heat, add more peppers. All right, get those going. If your vegetable broth dries out, which that does happen because vegetable broth burns off a lot faster than water, just add a little bit more vegetable broth or cut it, do like a little bit of vegetable broth and a little bit of water. And then that way it stays longer in your pan. It's not like the old days where we all used oil and you could just sit there and let things saute and simmer for a long time. Not with vegetable broth, it'll burn off really quick. Okay, so let that get cooking because I want my green peppers to get nice and soft. So grab some gloves. If you don't have gloves, of course, if you're home, spoon, however you want to do it, but since I'm on camera, gloves. My leftovers from like, the COVID glove phase, which come in really handy for classes. So, all right, so we got everything in there. So just get in there. Start mixing. Smells really good. Got that liquid smoke, a little bit of tamari. It's good. You definitely want to make sure, because you've got a lot of different spices and things in there, that you want to make sure you get it mixed as good as you can. The nice thing about this, gloves peel off, and we're ready for the next step. All right, so that's what it looks like all mixed up. So the nice thing about it too is like you've got, you still have the zucchini that you can see. So even when you bake it up, the zucchini is going to show. So, if you had like carrots and zucchini and other things, it shows in your burgers, which just makes it even better. So nothing bad about veggie burgers and showing all the veggies, wonderful veggies that we get to eat. All right, so we've got this going. So let me grab baking sheet. So you grab a half cup. Kind of gives you a nice size of burger. You can do it a little bit, kind of like a heaping cup. And then when you pull it out like that, then you're going to want to put it in a ball. And there's like 2 or 3 different ways. There's actually 3. So you got this nice little ball like this. So you could just pat it down, and then you could put it on your baking sheet and bake it. So you got those homemade looking burgers, which is really good, which I love. You can also do, and wash my hands real quick, and I'll show you other ways you can do it. Been experimenting a lot with burgers because Jerry likes used to love the Rip Esselstyn's burgers, and they're not back out in stores. They keep saying that they're going to be, but not sure when. So he really liked the thinner ones like that, and really hold together. So bought this on Amazon, it's about, I think it was like $10. So it has these little pieces in here. And what's really nice is when I do these burgers that he likes, I put these little papers in there like that, and I'll just put them in here, and then I put the burger in, and then I put another piece on top. So I'll show you one. So we just put that in there like that, grab one of the other sheets of paper, and you can buy extras of these. They came with like, I think 100 of them. So you put that on top like that. Then you grab this little top piece and you just press down. So then the bottom comes out, so it presses up. And you have this nice little burger. So if you do this and you put the next one on top and the next one on top, the nice thing about it, it doesn't get the freezer burn. And you can tell that that's a really nice sized burger for anybody to enjoy. So if I take this off, I'll just keep kind of putting them together. I'll just do burgers like this. The other way is I have, stir my stuff, make sure I'm paying attention. The other way that we can do that, and that one, if you look at that, like on this, I'll pull this up, that's a pretty burger. Doesn't that look really good? Already done. So that's a really nice size. You can also buy these little rounds. This was like $10. I did this a lot because I was making, like when you do bread and you want like a round of a bread and stuff, these are really nice. So you can also do these, and all you do is just take the same round thing, and then you just pat it down, and it gives you the same nice, it can be like that thick, or you can make it that thick, which is almost 1 inch. So there's different ways to do it, but since I've already started it with this way, I'm going to finish up the rest of the burgers this size so they all look the same.
What's that called again?
This one is, let me grab the box. I bought it. It is, like I said, it was Amazon, and it's called a hamburger press patty maker. That's it. That's all it's called. So it came in a little box like this, and that was all that was part of it. Like I said, it comes with, look for the one that has these little papers in it, because it just makes it easier, and then you don't get messy things in it. Okay, so you get the nice half cup, roll up the ball. That, put it in there, try to put it, not just dump it, Kelley. Put it in the middle, put this on top. And when I'm making them up and I'm putting in the freezer, I keep the little the paper wrapper on it. because in that way it just keeps it fresher. But since I'm making them this way, I don't. And then you just press down until you can't press down anymore. And then you pop out the bottom. Like that. Like I said, I normally keep the paper on, but since I'm making these up like this, pull this off, and another beautiful burger. You can find all styles of these. The reason why I bought just this one is because I liked that it had the papers in it and I didn't have to buy the papers because it gave me like 100. So I could try it out and see what I thought before I decided if I wanted to invest a lot more money in it. This one, cheap, under $10, works great. That. Press down. You don't even have to press very far. And turn it over. Aren't those beautiful? And they hold up. So like when we press them like this, the reason why Jerry likes them, he likes them pressed like that because they hold up really well. And then you, especially if you freeze them, you could put them in a a plastic bag. So you just keep them all. So you have like 3 or 4 of them stacked up. You put them in a plastic bag and then freeze them and then pull them. And the nice thing about it is they come apart really easy. So because you have this paper in them, it just holds up really well and stuff. And you can just pull them apart and do 1 burger or 2 burgers. Sometimes Jerry will do a double stacker, almost like a what do you call those? The McDonald's
Double cheese.
No, the what was the big ones?
Big Mac.
They had the big sauce on them. I can't think what they're called.
Big Mac.
Big Mac, until it's been too long. Okay, so 4 absolutely beautiful burgers, all ready to go in the oven. And then this is dishwasher safe, which is really nice, or you can just put it into the soap and water, whatever you want to do, but it's actually just really nice. And then you can actually, the way you can store it, and so it has all the different pieces and parts, but pretty easy to keep for under $10. And then when I clean it up, I just keep the little paper pads and I just put them right inside of that and keep it in the box and it's all ready to go. But definitely been experimenting with them, just trying different burgers. And then also trying to get, like, if we make, 2 or 3 different types of burgers, freeze them all up, put them in there, put it in a baggie that marks them, and then you have these ready to go.
You don't have to cook them already. It's already cooked.
You don't have to cook this, but yes, we're definitely going to put a toast on it. So I'm going to put it in the oven, get a nice toast on it. But if you do all these, you don't have to cook them. You can actually put them in the freezer. And then when they come out, you can actually either put them in the microwave and heat them up, or you can put them on like a skillet and then do kind of brown both sides and it's ready to go. Because everything in here, if you think about it, is already cooked. So I just like to have a nice little crust on it, or even like kind of the bake on that. But there is, oops, make sure I don't dump them. 4 absolutely beautiful burgers ready to go. And the nice thing about it too, that size is the same size as your buns. You don't have this little scrawny burger or one that goes too much over the side. So I'm going to get this in the oven. All right, so we have the green bell peppers. I can turn that up a little bit. So everything looks really good. So we've got softened green bell peppers, the onions, the garlic, and a little bit of the jalapeno because I do like the jalapeno. I'm not a big fan of jalapeno, but I do like them where they're in the beans. Just gives you that nice little kick. All right, so you've got that in there. And I'll make the sauce here in a few minutes. And then everything else pretty much is going to go in there. So that's why I love this black bean recipe, is because it's like everything is in one pot and you can just like if you're getting things ready, you can just let it simmer or do it the day before or 2 days before. And then you have these beautiful black beans, or not black beans, but barbecue beans. It's one of my favorites. All right, so that's ready to go. So we have, the regular, so northern white beans, cannellini beans, there's all kinds of different beans. You definitely want to watch, because sometimes you'll get like the navy beans, which are the white ones too. But every once in a while, depending on the brand, some of them are really tough. So no matter what or how much you cook them, and these come right from a can, they don't soften up. And we've had that a couple times. So I usually try to stay more with either the Great Northern beans or the cannellini beans. Those tend to be the nice, like the bigger beans like this. and they're soft, which is really nice. Or make your own. You get an Instant Pot or any of the things like that that you can do. So this is actually 2 cans, so it's a little over 3 cups. And then you'll notice and stuff, since there's no salt in them, I actually am using the liquid. And the reason why is because it just adds more flavor and a little bit more of the moisture and stuff to the beans. So so that's just the cans right there. So I'm gonna add that in. If you want, and I have done this, I've added black beans sometimes just for a different flavor, like if you're gonna do more of a Mexican flavor. I've also added like pinto beans, I've added kidney beans, all kinds of different beans. So this is one of those ones that once you have the base, you can pretty much add anything you want. You could always add some more barbecue sauce if you wanted to, all those types of flavors. So that's in there. And then the different flavors. Okay, so we've got the green bell pepper, the onions, everything else in there. We've got the garlic, the jalapeno. So now I've got tomato paste. So more of my tomato paste. Get all out of there. All right, so tomato paste is, of course, really thick, like we're all used to. So when you're getting ready to mix it up, you definitely want to give it, before you kind of add everything else, give it a nice little stir and get it mixed up in there. And the reason why is because otherwise everything kind of sticks to the tomato paste. So it's nice just to get it all broken up, get it mixed up. All right, then we've got molasses. So regular molasses that you probably used to use in pecan pies, those type of things. Molasses is really good. So I've got molasses. I also have brown sugar, but I didn't use brown sugar. I'm actually going to use date paste. So date paste is just dates that have been soaking in water, and it's all ground up. So that'll give me the flavor of a little bit of like a sugar, but not without having the brown sugar. So I've been experimenting with everything that asks for like a brown sugar, regular sugar with date paste. And date paste, if you make it up, it keeps, as long as you keep it like in a mason jar, like something like this. And then even if you've got a plastic lid or the metal, put some saran wrap or plastic wrap here, and then put the lid on it, and date paste will stay in your fridge for a long time. So it's a good way to use it. All right, so you've got the molasses in there. Let's see, how much date paste are you adding? So good question. So it says here for a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, I do a 1/4 cup of the date paste. So I'm substituting it 1 for 1. All right, and then I also have yellow mustard and in here an apple cider vinegar. So I have everything just kind of mixed up because I was running out of these cute little dishes and stuff. So everything's in here. You can see my molasses. You can actually write your name. So Kelley, as you're letting it drizzle. Yeah, that works. Grab your spoon, because your molasses will definitely, if you were making it up, will sink to the bottom. And that's what gives that really nice flavor on baked beans is molasses. Get it all out of there. It smells so good. Molasses, when it starts to cook, it's just yummy. All right, so my date paste. So 1/4 cup. Great question. And then just for a little extra kick, but you don't have to add it if you don't. It's just a little bit of Chipotle chili powder. So Chipotle chili powder is nice because it's got a little bit of a kick, but not much, but it's got a nice smoke. So it's almost like a smoked paprika. So I'm gonna add just a little tinge of that. And what I always say when you're doing spices, even my recipes, go low. So if I say 1/4 teaspoon of Chipotle chili powder and you like a little bit of the kick, go start out with an 1/8 and just do a little bit of that into the dish that you're making and that you're cooking. And then once you do that, then add a little bit more if you want more, because you can always add spices, you can't take them away. And we always talk about that, most recipes, and you get lots of emails from people and stuff that will say, I tried all these, plant-based or vegan recipes and they were terrible. Usually what ends up happening is they're overspiced. And so they'll be like, put in a tablespoon of oregano, and about like oregano takes over everything that you make, unless it's even when you do something that's Italian, if you put too much oregano, it just ruins it. So always put less and start out like with an 8, and taste it and add more. All right, so that's everything for the baked beans. See how easy that was? So I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to let them simmer. I'll put them on medium low. I'm also going to taste them. Look at the sauce already. All nice and thick without even doing anything. I love these beans. These are my favorite. And I've actually taken them sometimes and I'll put like a barbecue, little bit of barbecue sauce in it. If you want a spicy barbecue or something like that, it's just really good. But without even adding anything like that, they're really good barbecue baked beans. So this is what they look like. And like I said, this is just adding just everything to it. This is not even simmering. They're already nice and thick. But the longer you let them simmer, then your cannellini beans or your Great Northern beans are going to soak up all that flavor. And then it's just going to get even yummier. So let them simmer. And we'll just watch those. It smells so good in here. It smells almost like a picnic or something. All right. So beans are done. That's easy. All the steps you need to do if you're getting ready for a picnic or like even Father's Day would have been nice and stuff. Make them up a day ahead of time. Let them just sit there and simmer, and then when they put in the fridge and stuff, they're just getting all those nice flavors. And then just heat them up the next day. Then you're all ready to go. All right, so we're gonna do the sauce, the special sauce, because we need that for the burgers. And I'll check the burgers. They're not gonna take very long. All right, so special sauce, we've got, let's grab the blender. All right, and this is my famous blender I always talk about. It's got, you can tell, it's even got a crack in it. Eventually I need to replace it, but the crack, and that's how good these blenders are, because there was something that got caught in the inside. And the good thing about it is no matter what, it still holds water, it still holds everything. It's done great. So I figure wait until it falls apart. Okay. All right, so special sauce. We've got raw cashews, so I let them soak. I just let them soak overnight. If you want to make them quick, just put boiling water on them and then let them set for about 20 minutes and then you're ready to go. But I got them the night before. Add those in. All right, and since they're already softened and they're not hard and stuff, I'm going to add everything together. So as long as you soak them, it's easy. Just put them in your blender and just blend it all up together. And then we've got in here, so I've got all the different ingredients because I was running out of my dishes. So I've got tomato paste. So tomato paste again. The cool thing about it is you're opening up those little 6-ounce cans. Between all these different recipes, you're pretty much using all your tomato paste because you can always add more in here if you got a little bit left over. Then I've got maple syrup, but you could use the date paste if you wanted to. Apple cider vinegar, tamari. Got a little bit of tahini in there because you're going to get that really nice creamy smoothness. And then water, which I'm going to add here. Water. And then I've got all the spices. Almost same. Onion powder, smoked paprika, and ground mustard. Nice smoky flavor. Okay, so add this in here. All the wet ingredients. Get all that in there. And the same thing, if you would use date paste to replace the maple syrup in this, same thing, 1-to-1. You don't have to think about it any further than that, which is good. All right, so water. And then my spices. And that's it. That's good. All right, let me just rinse this off because we're going to need it for the, actually, I can do it in the food processor. I'll just do the mayo in the food processor. All right, so let me grab. Special sauce. It almost looks like the Big Mac sauce a little bit. Let's see if I do it this way. Oops, wait, dribble a little bit. Out there. Just a few dishes tonight. All easy to do. All right. Everything for my potato salad. So the sauce, give you a little bit of. It's got a little bit of smoke in it, which is really good, but it's just really creamy. So you taste a little bit of some of the different ingredients that we had in there. So you taste a little bit of the tomato paste, a little bit of the sweetness, a little bit of the tart because you've got the apple cider vinegar in there, and then you got a little bit of cashews and stuff. But just a really nice sauce to give you a different flavor and stuff for your burgers, which is really good. Gotta have those different flavors. And easy to make. Stir my beans. Check my burgers. Yeah, they're doing really good. So they're getting nice and brown, but they're not to exactly where I want. So I'm gonna leave them in for quite a couple more minutes, and then it's up to you. You can flip them if you want both sides really nice and toasty. So I will do that here in just a second. All right. So got the black bean burgers, yum, all ready to go. Let me grab a big bowl. I love potato salad. Jerry does not like potato salad, so every once in a while and stuff, I'll make like maybe half the amount that this makes because it's like 8 to 10 servings, and I'm like, okay, what? I like potato salad maybe a couple times, but not like a whole week's worth. So cut the recipe in half, but this one is the full recipe, so you can see. So all I did was just take russet potatoes, and I didn't peel them or anything because the peelings are good, so just scrub them down, and then I just made them in little bite-sized pieces, and then I put them in just like a steamer and steamed them up, and then they've actually been cooling off. So, you could make it a hot potato salad if you want, or you could just make it the nice and cold. I tend to prefer the cold. So this is all ready to go. Just add those in there. I'll put those to the side. Because then we've got everything going with that. So I need to make the mayo. So the mayo is back here. So mayo is silken tofu. So silken tofu, actually, let me show you one of the boxes, which is because it's really cool the way they do this. A lot of your like natural markets and stuff will have this. So this is Mori, M-O-R-I. So M as in Mary, New, N-U, which is like N as in Nancy U, silken tofu. And it comes in these little boxes like this, which is really nice. So you can get there's all kinds of different ones. You can get like silken where it's not firm, but I always get the extra firm just because I like it to hold up a little bit more. But each one of these boxes, and we get these at Sprouts, $1.99 for this. They're non-refrigerated, so you can keep them in your pantry, which is really nice. So I can pull these out as I need to make new mayo, or I use it for something else. And I don't have to worry about refrigerator space, which we know that's all premium for a refrigerator, especially now with all the fruits and things like that are coming out. So yeah, Mori new tofu. And I usually do the extra firm, but there's all kinds of different flavors. They have some with like some black sesame seeds in it and all that. I just usually get this one. And when I see them on the shelves, because COVID and not everything being there, I always buy as much as I can. I buy like 10 of them just so I have them around. Okay, drained it a little bit. All right, so silken tofu, put it in your food processor. Sometimes I'll just break it up just a little bit because it helps it mix. And then not too many other ingredients. You've got Dijon mustard. So yum Dijon mustard. And then you've got lemon and then a little bit of Himalayan pink salt if you want that. This is all ready to go. Dump that in. And then put your lid on. Spatula. Make sure you push everything down because you want to have it as smooth as you can. All right. Here's always my tip and trick. Food processors, you've got the hole down here with the blade for the blade. When you're getting ready to kind of like do something and pour something on a food processor, actually just put your index finger in there and it holds your blade in place. And that way, when you tip it, no blade, which I really like. So here's the mayo. So it looks just like mayo. It's nice and thick. And it's got a really nice flavor. So whatever you put the mayo with is what the flavor is going to take on. So this is just a very mellow, almost like kind of like your Hellmann's, your mayos and stuff that it has the eggs and things like that. This does not, but it mixes well. It does great mock tuna salad sandwiches. If you've never tried mock tuna, wonderful. We make them all the time. And I sometimes will just put them on some really thick crackers that, like that you can get, or Jerry, put sandwiches. If we travel somewhere, we'll make up like 5-6 sandwiches and take those with them. It just holds up really well. And it's just like garbanzo beans and then everything else you put in a tuna salad. So when you've got this left over, because it makes enough. So you just want to do the same thing. Just these nice little mason jars, put the mayo in there that you have left over. And then I always put plastic wrap on top, and then I put the lid on, whether it's the metal or the plastic. The plastic's really nice because you don't get that oxidation that you get where it's like a metal taste all of a sudden and stuff. So you got the plastic on there, and then you have it probably for about 3 to 4 weeks. You'll notice that if you open it up and you forget about it, and it has like a lot of liquid on the top, if you just do a quick smell, you'll know because it's getting a little bit of going on the side that you don't want to have it, and then just throw it out. But usually we go through on something like this, we'll make, when I know it's been like I've had it maybe 2 weeks, I'll make a whole big batch, like a big bowl like this of the mock tuna salad. And then we eat on that for 3 or 4 days, which is really good. Okay, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. I'm running out of room. I'll move this stuff over. All right, let me check the burgers. Nice and toasty. Make sure I get the parchment paper caught. Nice and toasty, looks yummy. And then let me flip. You may have to hold on to your parchment paper a little bit, and then get your spatula under there and then flip them. All right, it's all ready to go. So now I'm going to get toasty on both sides, which is yummy. They're really pretty. All right, so now we're going to do, so we've got the mayo, which is over here. We've got the potatoes here for potato salad. We got all that in there. So we're going to add mustard. So we got yellow mustard. You could also flavor it up. You could do the stone ground. You could do the Dijon. You could do like a free mustard potato salad, which would be really good. So you've got, the yellow mustard. You would have the stone ground mustard and a little bit of Dijon. Made a salad dressing one time with the 3 mustards. Really good. 3 mustards. Those 3 mustards are really, really good together. Okay, so we've got the mustard in there. We've got the mayo. So the mayo we said we needed, if we're following along on the recipe, we've got 5 tablespoons. So kind of eyeball it. So make it as creamy or not creamy as you want. So if you want more of the potatoes, then add less mayo. All right, so I got my handy dandy whisk, which will make things a little bit easier. And if it's too mustardy, so start out just with a little bit less mustard, but taste it. So if you're tasting it and it's a little bit too much mustard, add a little bit more mayo, just a little bit. So I'll do like another tablespoon. But remember, you're gonna add pickles and all the good stuff in there too. So, okay, so got that mixed in together. So mustard, mayo, so black pepper, which I forgot to do. So the cayenne, so a little bit of cayenne pepper if you want. I just did just a teeny little dash. So definitely start out with a little bit less of that. And then I've got dill. So dill is always good. If you don't like dill, leave it out. I used to never like dill. I was never one that didn't grow up with it, but now love it. Especially like if you do a potato, like a potato soup and you got that fresh dill in there. Wonderful. Let's add the dill in there. My mom used to not do dill. She would do dill pickle juice instead. All right, so we've got all that in there, and you can put the sea salt in. So we've got there. So we will add now. I've got dill pickles, and then I've got celery on the bottom. You can tell I was running out of the little containers. All right, then we've got the other ingredients we've got to add. So I've got a little bit of jalapeno, just a little bit. I'm not even going to add that much, just a little. And then you've got onions. These are red onions. And the reason why I did red onions on this is just because they're pretty. So it adds that color, which is really nice. Then you've got a little bit of the red wine vinegar. Get that in there. Give it a nice stir. Give a little bit of that acid, which is really good. And I'm going to taste it really quick because it does call for raw cane sugar. Give a little bit, but I'm going to add instead of raw cane, beet paste. Just a little bit. Sometimes sometimes it really depends on your how you grew up with potato salad. Like my mom used to make it more like really mustardy, which is what we grew up with. But then I've had others and stuff which are really sweet. So it kind of really depends on what you're used to. And what flavor profile you're looking for. One more. So that was basically 2 teaspoons just for the sweetness. And top back on. Back in the fridge. Grab the burger ingredients out. All right. Mix that up. There is your sauce that's going to go on your potato salad. So do part of it and mix and see how much you need. And how much you like. Slop everywhere. My mom used to make it when she made it, would always make it would be like bright yellow and lots of eggs and all kinds of things, but it would be really covered with the sauce. A little bit more. Jerry's like, yuck.
Nope.
He loves potatoes, but does not, I don't know why, does not like potato salad.
Grew up not liking it. I grew up not liking it. It's too cold.
Maybe we should try you on room temperature one day.
German's potato salad.
Oh, I don't like German. I'm not a German potato salad fan. I grew up in the Midwest, which was always potato salad, baked beans, hamburgers, hot dogs, all those kind of things that Mom would do. Mom and dad. All right, so there it is. Taste it. Reminds me of like home. That's really good. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So you can tell how much sauce I put on there. So it's enough to cover it. And you've got all that dill and things. And if you had fresh dill, you could add that in there too. But it's just enough to cover it and stuff, but not enough to overwhelm it, which is really good. And that's like perfect. So I probably have maybe 2 tablespoons of the sauce left over. But like I said, add as much or as little as you want, depending on your flavor profile. This over here. Get all the dishes out of the way. It's nice too because the date paste and stuff, can't even taste it. It just adds a little bit, of, it kind of tames down a little bit of the mustards and things, which is really nice. Did a really nice job. I've never done date paste in a potato salad, but it actually is really good. It's really creamy and good. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. We'll put the mayo over here because we'll save that for later and put it in the fridge.
Hey, Kelly, there were a couple of questions there.
Guarantee you will not miss the eggs. All right, that's the side. And so for topping, chives. Just a few nice chives to add the prettiness on there. Hard to gather them up in your hands. There you go. Just add a little bit more. And there is your homemade plant-based potato salad. It's absolutely yummy. And think about it like a day, like tomorrow, like it's been in the fridge and stuff, and it's all been soaked, like potatoes have been soaking up all the good sauce and stuff that we put on there. Even tomorrow, it's gonna be wonderful. Wonderful for lunch. All right, so there's that. Chives are good. Everything looks good. Everybody's like, can we just come over to your house? We actually had some people that live in Colorado and live in like the park area, and they're like, can we just like drive by and you can just kind of like give us like care bags and we just keep driving and we'll just go home and eat. I'm like, sure, I'll do that. Not a problem. Get this out of the way. I think our burgers are done. All right. We're going here. Burgers. Beans. Oh, we're right at time. All right, burger real quick. Heat up. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, let's get the beans. So the buns we're using are Ezekiel, which is really a good brand. You can find it in most of your Whole Foods type stores, your those type of things, and they're really good. They're really nice, like a bun that holds up really well. So there is your baked beans, barbecue baked beans, yum. And then So nice buns,
No, no oil.
nice buns, lady.
Yep.
All right, and grab the spatula. We're gonna make this up really quick. Let's do this one. So depending on what you want to do, so you've got the special sauce. So I'm going to grab my knife. Special sauce on the burger on the bottom. You could do mustard, you could do all that. A little bit more special sauce on the top. Burger. Look how pretty that is. Like it fits like perfect. I mean, how can't beat that. All right, then I've got regular things. So I have onions. Tomatoes. I'm gonna cut. Make a match. I have pickles. Regular dill pickles. That. I have beautiful red leaf lettuce. And voila. So if you had like a really, like a cool, remember when you always see the shows and stuff? So there you go. So there, I'll turn it a little bit. So there is your black bean burger with yummy sauce. You can put as much yummy sauce as you want in that. It's all ready to go. And they look delicious. Then you've got your barbecue baked beans. And I need 3 hands and wonderful potato salad. Yum. Throw a little bit of coleslaw in this with this and you've got a feast. This is like my favorite thing in the world. Maybe some like baked chips with it too, but it's all ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys make the recipes. Let me know what you think. And then just, you know, if you want to email me for anything I've said about recipes or anything like that, it's Kelley, Kelley at Plant-Based Kitchen. Happy to help, happy to share. It's all about community. So love you guys.
Bye. 4th of July.
We will talk to you probably in about 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.